How to create wealth for future generations. People who were born into affluence appear to have had all handed to them from the moment they were alive. However, many people seem to miss the sacrifices and great work made by the family's founder to achieve that status and advantages. These pioneers struggled and suffered to leave anything to coming generations in the form of inherited wealth. Fast-track your wealth and get more life-changing, mindset-shifting, and great content regularly. Only here at WealthMatic. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more money content by clicking the icon below. But wait, what exactly is generational wealth, and how does it vary from individual wealth? The idea of inherited wealth refers to when a household transfers a great amount of wealth to coming generations. The family money, also known as generational riches, is the result of years of hard labor and struggle. The Rothschild clan is among the most well-known families with generational riches. When the mayor of Shell Rothschild launched his banking firm in the 1760s, the family rose to fame. With time, the family's wealth grew, eventually becoming one of the most well-known empires in the modern world. Now, what are the steps to creating massive wealth and how long would it take? The most essential thing to realize about inherited wealth is that it is impossible to accumulate it in a single lifetime, except for a few unusual situations. Even if you do have not much cash, you may build generational wealth by merely moving on some of your generation's fortune to the next. Most individuals strive to achieve this by giving cash to their heirs in their own will. This wealth usually lasts only one lifetime. The real generational wealth will pass from the first to second, then to the third, and so on. The only way to secure massive wealth for a long succession of inheritors is the only way to secure a lengthy time of inheritors' generational riches is for it to be a garment, rather than just being dispersed. A long-term investment is key to maximizing great wealth. The concept of generational wealth is based on the notion that slow and steady finishes the game. If a household has accumulated a considerable number of wealth, they will concentrate on the development of finances for the majority of their resources, in order to guarantee that the assets are maintained throughout the project. The purchase of land, commercial property, or mining rights can be significant long-term investments for a family to develop their income. While these commodities can require a family a large amount of money, other kinds of physical assets are less expensive. The trust fund is a strategy that is utilized by both families and people who seek to build generational wealth. The most fundamental functioning of a trust fund is based on the principle of compound interest and prudent long-term investment. Compound interest is a type of interest that is more sophisticated than simple interest. Basic interest is a type of interest that pays a set amount depending on the principal invested over the time the asset is held. Compound interest has the ability to develop virtually enormously as a result of this. Now, bonds are another instrument that trust funds utilize since they will give out interest payments in the periods before they mature. Bonds are preferred among trust funds that wish to invest cautiously because they are long-term and minimal. A family-owned business or asset can be used to build generational wealth outside of a direct trust fund. In some circumstances, new members of the family are granted interest in the family and business when they are born. And with that said, what are some of the advantages of having riches passed down through generations? Why is it worthwhile to work hard and sacrifice for generational wealth? One of the advantages of a family with generational wealth is that the future generations will have a better start than prior generations. While it is true that money cannot purchase happiness, it might provide a better chance. However, you might be wondering, what are some of the threats to the generational riches you've created? Greed is the number one threat to any family's generational riches. Keeping money and storing it needs all members of a family to make little sacrifices so that future generations can share in the wealth. The ambition of a person or a conspiracy of relatives is one of the most serious risks to a family's prosperity. It is fantastic for most individuals to be able to enjoy a decent life with minimal labor. However, some people crave more and more of anything once they've had a taste of it. These are the folks who have the power to get in the way of a family's generational wealth. Here's another one. Foolish judgments and poor investments are another danger to a family's generational prosperity. An ego-driven son might lose a nation conquered by a fighting father. This is arguably the finest illustration of how money is passed down through generations. There is always a risk that a family's money will be lost unless they have a consistent sequence of professional money managers. People mistakenly feel that merely because they live in a wealthy clan, they are superior to others. They take pity on others, thinking they're above everyone else. No matter how large an estate is, there is only so much cash and property that can be split and given along before there really is nothing left. The important thing to remember about generational wealth is that it is there for coming generations, not for the current ones. This means that regardless of the number of close relatives, some money must be put into future generations. If you want new generations of your clan to have a better quality of life, you'll need to put in a lot of effort and dedication, as well as a lot of lengthy preparation. You may create significant wealth for your descendants by putting your inheritance in reduced long-term assets. They will be able to accomplish the activities they want at a much younger age because of this family's riches. Although there are risks, smart preparation might result in a family's money that lasts for decades. Do take the time to develop an asset strategy that is right for you and your family. Finding something which works for your position is highly important because not everyone wishes to invest in property or start a company. Whichever technique you select, make absolutely sure your financial information is passed down to your offspring. Your children will be a step ahead of the competition when they cross the threshold equipped with the individual economic information you can give. And that concludes this video. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and follow my channel if you haven't already. That being said, have a wonderful day, and I'll see everyone for the next video.